Welcome on in, everybody, to Same But Different, the movie talk show where we take a movie one week and we say we're going to watch it, and then we come back the following week having watched it and we review it.
Whoa!
Yes, it's like a movie book club, and we coined it. Nobody else is doing it, period. This week we decided to check out the Russo brothers' new, most expensive movie ever made, The Electric State. It's all over Twitter and the internet about just how egregious this movie is. So we decided we've got to check it out and make our own opinions. How about you get into it right now and tell us what you thought of the movie?
Okay, so it's really tough for me. I'm going to go back and forth on this a lot because I truly believe that it doesn't deserve all the hate that it's getting, as much hate as it's getting, as a movie, as a storytelling device. I do believe it deserves the hate for existing a little bit.
What does that mean?
Here's what I mean. People are coming at it like, you know, the story's garbage, the acting is garbage, the CGI is garbage, which I think is, that's actually an objectively wrong statement.
Yeah.
Because all the money went into the CGI, basically, and the actors. But people are coming at it from a technical standpoint and a storytelling standpoint, saying that it's an awful movie in that regard. I disagree. I think that if we were to turn this into, let's say, an animated film, let's say Studio Ghibli did this movie and had all of these voice actors doing the same role, same story, same everything, I bet you everybody would fucking love it, because this story is actually pretty good. It's nothing new. You've seen this story probably a million times in some way, shape, or form, but it's one that has heart, and it's one that has adventure, and there are a couple of laughs here and there. Some don't land because that's where we're adults. Some land for kids. That's fine too. But I do believe there's a silver lining or like a gold nugget in here somewhere.
Okay.
And I think people are just completely overlooking that because of my second point, how it doesn't deserve to exist.
Yeah, please elaborate on what that could mean.
This movie, and you said it perfectly, it's egregious. It's $320 million budget, probably more due to marketing and things like that. It comes through in the CGI alone. The CGI is incredible. Like most of these robots you see on screen, I thought they were real. Like they look so good.
There was a point where I was like, did the budget go into building actual robots?
Yeah. And then a large chunk of the money went into actors. This movie is filled with names. And I don't know what kind of chokehold Netflix has on Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt and all of these people, but like they just keep putting them in their fodder. Netflix made a $320 million movie that's not going to theaters. Why? Why? This is what's wrong with Hollywood. You're flushing money down the toilet. And the only reason you're doing it and you're putting huge names in there is to hopefully get people onto your platform to subscribe more. Listen, Anora just made history, winning all of those Oscar awards, being an independent film. It was made for what, $8 million?
I don't know.
Something like that, $6 to $8 million, and it won all these Oscars. The Electric State will never even see the red carpet from across the street. And it's so much money. You could have made 30 or more really good independent movies instead of one mediocre movie. So This is what's wrong with Hollywood. And that's why I think this movie should not exist. But just to come back to it, there are some things where I'm just like, ugh, like the script is kind of weird sometimes, especially through Millie Bobby Brown. I'm not a huge fan of Millie Bobby Brown. I think it's kind of a chore to watch her act, in my opinion. And her brother wasn't a great actor. Sometimes he did. Sometimes it shone through. I think with a little bit of training, that kid could be a good actor, but it wasn't that great at first. But yeah, I think there's a heartwarming story here. You got the Han Solo-esque type of renegade character in Chris Pratt and his relationship with Anthony Mackie's character, the robot. There's a lot of really good things in here that you can enjoy if you just look past the fact that this thing is a bastardized version of what Hollywood should be. The Electric State. I'm not saying go out and watch it. I'm also only going to give it a 5.5 out of 10.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I can't see past the fact that it shouldn't exist. I just can't give it any more than that, because then it's giving accolades to something that doesn't deserve it.
That's fair.
Yeah. It's just fiscally irresponsible. They could be making so many good things.
The way we rate movies is a little bit differently, because I feel like we enjoyed this about the same amount.
Fair.
I, however, initially coming out of it, gave it a 6.5. After having sat with it, I am going to give it a 6. A 7 is when a movie has more good than bad to say. But just for pure enjoyment value, like shut my brain off, sort of, I enjoyed watching this. I'm going to give it a 6. I did like the characters. I think that it built a very interesting world, only to not really do as much with it as they could have. Like, it started with this really interesting sort of, this is what's going on in the world, and then it just hyper focused on one plot in this world.
Yeah.
Millie Bobby Brown.
Okay.
I think that she handled the scenes that didn't require great acting really well.
That's such a backhanded compliment.
I know.
I love that. Okay.
But like the lighter stuff, even some of the cutesy stuff, her comedic timing was surprisingly all right.
Yeah, that's true.
It's when she had to get dramatic, which was most of her character, unfortunately, is where I do think she struggled. Chris Pratt was Chris Pratt. I mean, say what you will about the guy. He plays that role so very well. Him and Anthony Mackie were great. Usually, I would hate the kind of character that Jenny Slate played, that little penny pal. Yep. I enjoyed that character. I don't think they overused the one-liners. Usually when it cut to her, I'm like, at least a quick little
What'd you think of Tooch?
Tooch. It was, you know what? His little arc was all right. He was fine. It was almost a Thanos-esque sort of thing where like, he believed he was fighting for the right cause. The action, nothing in terms of the action, like it was all fun, but nothing really stood out. In a movie like this, you'd want like that one big Fast and Furious moment that just makes you go, whoa.
Yeah.
But it didn't. Not all the action was fine, but it didn't really ever do that. There was a cute little twist toward the end. Hard to call it a twist, but
I thought that was wonderful.
A good way to do that tired trope well. I wish it didn't have such a cookie cutter ending.
Right. Okay.
They were going a route with it, and then they Hollywooded out. And no surprise, this is Hollywood embodied in a hodgepodge of disaster. But like, arguably my biggest gripe is I don't mind a family movie. I don't mind a movie for kids. I don't mind when it's appealing to both. This one felt like at times it was a kids movie and at times it was for a larger audience.
Yeah.
I feel like it didn't quite know the tone it wanted to have sometimes.
I agree. And just to speak on your Hollywood ending note real quick, I think it's incredibly hypocritical and just like tone deaf to have that kind of ending where it's like, we should all have human connection and get off our devices. And then you have an entire movie that's had $320 million dedicated to it to give us CGI fest. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense to me to have your message completely contradict your creation.
That's very funny.
Yeah, it's weird.
I thought that the brother-sister storyline was the right storyline for this movie. I liked that there wasn't any romance. I always love a good sibling sort of story, and I think that was the right call for this, and I think it was handled pretty well. It just shouldn't have been the only focal point, I suppose. I really do think it's fun, and with 15-minute credits, it does come in at under 2 hours. But my main thing coming away from this, because I heard everything I heard about it before I watched it, is who cares? You didn't pay money to see this movie. It's out. It exists. If you have a Netflix subscription, you didn't have to go anywhere to watch it. Don't watch it if you don't want to. And if you do, why are you so mad?
Yeah.
Why are you so mad?
I'm just mad that it exists.
No, I don't mean you. And I'm talking to the royal you. Just chill out, man.
Chill out, man. These are the things I forgot to talk about. Millie Bobby Brown, her character, contributed nothing to the journey. At no single moment in this movie did she bring something to the table where I was like, oh, it's good to have her around.
Hey, she once said, I have an idea.
As your main protagonist, like, do something.
And that could have been the one really cool moment they needed.
And my final thing, and this is just a nitpicky thing I just laughed at in the theater. And this is a spoiler.
Uh-oh.
Spoiler. Skip this part. Skip ahead like 20 seconds if you don't want to hear the spoiler. Spoiler. You've been warned for the electric state. No way. Any 14-year-old kid will look at the situation and be like, you know what? I'll take one for the team. I'll die.
I think it's really funny because you talked for 20 seconds before you got there, and someone's going to skip ahead right to that
No,
point.
no, no, I didn't. No way I didn't.
No, but he had a lot of time to think in there.
No. Even still, he'd be like, please, get me out of here. Save me. I'm 14. I want to live my life. There's no way. There's no way.
Well, he was probably 17 at the time, right? But I still see your point. So that's the electric state, I suppose.
There it is.
And now it's dark again. Have you seen the electric state? Please tell us what you thought. It's fun watching movies that are notoriously, air quote, bad. Let us know in the comments down below. And while you're down there, slap a few words on the keyboard to say you love us. Slap a ding on your mouse, the bell.
Just a bunch of slaps down there.
Follow, like, subscribe. Help us out. We love to do this. We're going to keep doing this. And next week, we're going to be back. And we're going to watch, hopefully, a better movie than this one, NOVOCAINE.
I mean, it's getting rave reviews and doing well at the box office, so...
It's one of those things where one of these days, I'm going to flip and I'm going to start getting annoyed by Jack Quaid, I think. I can see it. That day is not today.
Right now, he's still charming.
Thank you all for watching. We will be back next week with NOVOCAINE. We love you very much, and keep watching movies.
Bye. Go watch original movies, you fools.